Good, good. So, yeah, too many years as a management consultant, so new set of PowerPoints every week. I bore myself silly with them. What happened to me was I was working actually at a very high level. I was a very successful management consultant working for one of the big accountancy companies in Sweden's largest company on their largest computer system. And they trusted me enough to fix some very, very serious problems that they had with the problem, which was risking the whole company. And it was lovely, involved 67 countries, 27,000 people, and all of that. And they trusted me to fix the problem. And I did. I had a very good team, and I really, really enjoyed what I was doing. Except that I went into work one day, and I sat at my laptop in their corporate headquarters just north of Stockholm, and I just went, duh. It was like petrol running out in a car. I just lost all my energy. I couldn't think. I knew who I was, and I knew what I had to do, but I just couldn't do it. And I'd never experienced anything like it before. It was just kind of, I stopped. And I didn't know what on earth was the matter. I know what it is now. It's called brain fog. Everybody talks about it because anybody who's got long COVID has it. But 20 years ago, nobody knew about it. And it was shocking. And so I went home, and a migraine came on. I've always suffered a little bit from migraines, but not too bad. And this was an absolute killer. So this was what's called, the main symptoms was what's called trigeminal neuralgia. And what that is, so the nerve that innervates this side of the face is in three parts, as hence trigeminal. So it's lower jaw, upper jaw, and then eye socket. And it was my right-hand eye socket. And I found out later what actually causes it, and it's atrophy of the myelin sheath. Where the nerve comes out of the brainstem, and it is worn away by the pulsations of an artery. And but that's the medical explanation. The experience of it is like someone getting a 4-inch nail and banging it into your eye socket. And it was doctors would say, "How painful is it?" And I said, "A cheeky person even asking." Well, you said, well, they said 1 to 10, I don't know, 100, a million, whatever. I said, just, you cannot believe how painful it was. And yes, anyway, so I don't want to go into more medical details of my problems. But anyway, so I was in bed in a darkened room with this thumping migraine day and night, 7 days a week, every month, every day for 2 years. And so my life had completely come to an end. And so I'd been to a lecture years before by a pioneer in my field of EMF surveying. And he had been to Germany and had training there with some people called the building biologists, Baubiologe. And so he knew how to do the surveying and what to look for. And I'd been to his lecture, and I just didn't know what to make of it. I knew that the physics he was talking about made sense and was accurate, and he'd got that from the Germans. And so I didn't know what to make of it. And there I was, in bed. My life had ended. I'd got to earn. I was running out of money. I needed to keep a roof over the head of my children, and so I was in a desperate situation. So I thought, well, never mind what. Finally, I came to the decision. Never mind what my scientific pride told me. I don't care. I'm just going to try it. So I know exactly what to do. I need to switch the Wi-Fi off. I stopped using the computer, switch the cordless phone off, and then also, and that worked brilliantly. And so incrementally, week after week, I just got better and better. So what I'm hoping that you can take on board is not to be like me, not to be stubborn, but to actually listen and to understand that electrosensitivity is real. It's extremely real. We are horrific. Our biology, the biological processes that we have making different complex, large molecules is electric or electronic. And the control and the speed of it all and the arrangement, the physical arrangement of it all is far more electronic than it is biological. Medics determine whether we are alive or dead by whether there's electrical activity going on in our brain. Electrical. And so that all of the biological processes have an electronic component. And all of those electronic components are susceptible to electromagnetic pollution. And so that what we're doing now, when we're letting youngsters, toddlers, play with smartphones, will be. You see pictures now of doctors smoking and recommending that people smoke to calm their nerves and that kind of thing from the 60s. We all think, oh God, that's so stupid. I mean, we will be looking back at parents letting their children play with smartphones and say exactly the same thing. Now, so I've done several hundreds, if not thousands, of home surveys advising people on how to, so they're electrosensitive at a certain level. So you can be exquisitely sensitive, just like somebody who can just sniff some wheat and then collapse, or they can have to eat a loaf before they start getting symptoms. And it's the same range of sensitivity that you get with electrosensitivity. And also, like food allergies, it can be bread or ice cream or whatever. With this can be Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all the different pollutions. It can be electrical wiring in the walls. And all of those have different characteristics. So they can be different frequencies, different patterns of frequency. It can be electric fields, they can be magnetic fields. And how it gets into your body can vary enormously. Let me give you an example. Sometimes when you're charging a metal-covered laptop, if you put your finger across the top of it, it buzzes, yeah?
Yeah, it's vibrating.
It vibrates. And that is either 50 or 100 cycles a second buzzing, okay? Now, that's incredibly interactive with what's going on in your hand. Really is. And it really is affected because the blood that is affected in your hand goes all around your body. So it can do tremendous damage. And off my website, I sell a cable, which is the simplest thing you can possibly imagine. It plugs into the earth lead of a 3-pin plug, and then you've got an earth wire, and you plug it into a USB socket, right? So that the outside skin of your laptop is then earthed, and it goes away. My laptop, I bought a new laptop, which let me down this morning. But I bought a new laptop, and it does that, and it does it very well. So I think, oh, right, okay, tick. Right, and so what you need to do, sitting at your laptop or your desktop, is make sure that the chassis, electronic chassis of that is earthed. But also, you need to be earthed as well. So if you put your foot on an earthing mat, so it's just a rubber mat that has got enough carbon content in it to actually conduct electricity, and you earth that as well. So your body's earthed, therefore the conductivity to your hand is very good. And therefore, if you've earthed the computer as well, there is no voltage between, they're both at earth voltage, nominally 0 volts, your hand and your keyboard and your mouse, as long as they're wired. And therefore, there's no way that all of the strange frequencies generated by the power supply to your computer can get into your body. And I mean, it's so trivial, it's so cheap, it's not true. And it'd be so easy for the people who specify all this stuff, the electrical engineers who tell the different computer companies how to design power supplies for computers. It will cost nothing. It will really make no difference. It's not even pence to the price of a computer. Nothing at all. It just needs redoing. So all of this stuff, so much of the problems with electrical pollution are easily got round. And a lot of work has been done also on light frequencies more recently. So you can you carefully choose your light bulbs and how you light your house, and how in the morning you have blue light and in the evening you have orangey light, just like you get naturally. And that really does help your melatonin production, and therefore you can have much better, deeper sleep by doing that. And most computers have some software in them you can switch on that varies the light frequencies from blue in the morning till orange in the evening, and you'll find you'll sleep much better. So what I look for when I'm doing surveys is low frequency from the mains, electric frequencies, electrical fields, and also then magnetic fields. But then what cheap, horrible, normal electronics? So if you want good, pure sound, you have to buy a hi-fi, and it has to be hi-fi, and it's expensive, or a lot cheaper than it used to be, but it's still expensive, and you have to specify, I want good quality. Now, so the other side of that coin is, if you've got ordinary everyday rubbish electronics made as cheaply as possible, it produces huge amounts of electrical noise. And since all of our systems, there are many ways that the frequencies, the polluted frequency or the distorted frequencies can get into our bodies, like sitting at your computer or touching the outside of your computer. Or particularly radiators are bad. So many kiddies' beds, when you're sleeping, is the time when it's absolutely critical to have as low pollution as possible. And that will give your body a chance to recuperate. And there are many things like that. So anyway, then there's what the frequencies, as I was talking about, there's particular specific frequencies at which the biological processes, the complex biological processes, resonate at. And when you get resonance, you get disturbance of these things, so that your body stops working so well. So you're suboptimal. You feel tired. There's a thing called rapid aging syndrome. Now, most people listen to this very carefully. What? So yes, cut your pollution, cut the access of pollution to your body, and you will stay much younger. One example is, if you look at old films from the 1950s. Of course, the film stars always look glorious, but look at the crowd scenes. Look at the extras. Look at the ordinary population. They're there. They look so young. They look so healthy. It's because they haven't been subject to all this electrical pollution that we have now. So there's a lot of. It's not very expensive. It can be to set it up is a bit inconvenient, but you do get then you get the huge benefits in terms of health and so forth. So, and because our biological systems are disturbed and disrupted, it makes us really unhealthy. So, if you look at the health statistics, if you listen to what Robert Kennedy is saying about American health these days. Good heavens, America is so sick, and we're going the same way. Anyway, so the frequencies that resonates with us are frequently generated by what's called power supplies. So things like inverters from solar panels, the power supplies that convert the electrical power for our computers and for all our electronics and so on. And also in the base of most of our LED light bulbs as well, so where you're converting the voltage. They generate this vast range of frequencies called dirty electricity. And because there's such a big range of different frequencies, a lot of it affects our health. So it's called dirty electricity. That's the next thing I look for. So I've done the low frequency, then I look for dirty electricity frequencies, intermediate frequencies, and then and I put in filters then to dampen down those frequencies. There are basic ones for ordinary everyday computers and low power stuff. But for the high power stuff, which are things like solar panels, car chargers, battery systems, there's another whole other thing, which is coming more and more and more. Wherever you go now, a DIY place like Wix or whatever, there's a big thing. All right, install your own solar panels and all this kind of stuff. And there's so many little companies setting up, installing all of this technology. It's really, really big. And the dirty electricity is so serious, it not only affects individual houses, but also all their neighbours. So I have a lot of clients coming to me saying, please come and sort out my dirty electricity. Neighbours put in solar panels, or got a car, or just got an electric car or whatever. So lots and lots of work to be done. And working with Devansh now on helping people sort the dirty electricity problem. And then the other set of problems come from wireless. So I'll just go through that next 2 minutes, and then I'll finish. So Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, cordless phones, mobile phones, mobile phone masts, all produce what's called microwave frequencies. So microwave is not just the ovens, but it's also a band which is used so frequently for gizmos, all of the equipment we're talking about, and the 5G is more about connection between machines than it is to humans. And the amount of pollution that's going to come from it is going to hockey stick, and it's really unfortunate. So I've actually then gone now into design and production of filters for dirty electricity. And there's a load more products I want to develop, and I'm looking for finance. So if anybody knows any finance people who want to minor electronics projects in a massively growing market, please do contact me. So that was that. I hope you found that interesting. Good.